Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order. So we'll call the meeting to order for the February 27th BZA meeting. I'd like to thank everyone in attendance for this evening for taking the time to attend the meeting and present the business before us. I'll go ahead and read how we conduct our business. So please be advised that the Board of Zoning Appeals acts as a quasi-judicial body hearing appeal matters and requests for code exceptions. Testimony will be accepted from all persons interested in speaking on an item. Persons interested in speaking will be asked to approach the lectern to state their name, address, interest in the matter at hand. All testimony shall be directed to the chair, be relative to the item of business being discussed, and be presented with conduct appropriate to the setting. Any person exhibiting behavior deemed inappropriate by the chairperson of this body will be ordered to leave the premises. Once all persons wishing to speak on the matter have spoken, the floor will be closed and the board will deliberate amongst themselves before taking final action on the item. The order of business for this evening will be conducted as follows. The minutes of the previous meetings will be reviewed and acted upon. Old business will be conducted. New business will be conducted. Other business will be conducted. Then the meeting will be adjourned. Conduct of hearing for variance and appeal items. We will use a modified Robert's Rules of Order will be used in hearing the items of business. The clerk will read the agenda item. Staff will comment and respond to questions from the board. Applicant will comment and respond to questions from the board. Public will be given an opportunity to comment. Public comment will be closed. The board will then deliberate on the item. During this time, the chair may request witnesses to return to the lectern to respond to additional questions from the board. Upon hearing a motion, the board will stop discussions on the matter and the chair will ask if there is a second motion. Hearing a motion and second, the chair will ask the clerk to call roll and vote on the motion will be recorded. For a resolution to pass this evening, it will require a unanimous decision in order to meet the quorum requirements. If there are no objections from anyone in attendance to the aforementioned meeting procedures, would everyone in attendance please stand and raise your right hand to be sworn in? Let it be known that all persons present to provide testimony at this February 27th Board of Zoning and Appeals meeting hereby swear to affirm said testimony will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth. All those in agreement, please say I do.
I do.
All those opposed, please say opposed. Thank you. You may be seated. If any person indicates they are opposed to the, I don't need to write that. If you have not already recorded your name and address on the information sheets in the back of the room, we ask that you please do that. That will become a permanent record of today's meeting. So, any questions?
Mr. Chair, you want to do that now or after you have a chance to? I'll be for you.
Either way or on your way out.
Very good, thank you.
Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Wade Davis,
Present.
Mr. Wayne Davy,
Present.
Mr. Eddie Harvey.
Here.
You've all seen the meeting minutes in the packet of the meeting minutes from October the 10th, the last meeting we've held. Are there any questions, concerns, or needs for corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes from October 10.
All right, I will make a motion to approve the minutes previous.
Second.
We have a first and second motion. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Davy? Mr. Davis?
Aye. So let the records show that the meeting minutes from October 10, 2023 have been adopted. I don't believe we have any old business for this evening. Wayne, do you have anything? Or Eddie? Okay. So we don't have any old business. We'll head on to the new business. So we have two resolutions for this evening. The first one is Resolution BZA 12-23. Emily, would you please read the resolution?
A resolution to consider multiple variances, including to increase the maximum shed size, distance of concrete pad from neighboring properties, and size of concrete pad at 615 Broadway.
Thank you. Do we have a staff report first?
I'm sorry, no, we do not have a staff report on that. I know. What we do have is we have the officer assigned to the case to give a review.
Well, if there's no comments from the staff, then we will move on to, oh, I'm sorry. I was looking down.
That's okay. Derek Pearson, Code Enforcement Officer, Piqua. The case you have before you, I had come across with an ongoing review of the CVN. I had noticed that the shed and the parking area had deviated from the original permit. I contacted the property owner on 7/11 and explained to him that he would need to talk to the city planner and have the original permit amended for that, which then put the ball in his court, and then we are where we're at today. I'll be happy to answer any questions for you.
So in violation is the shed size,
The shed size, correct.
which is actually smaller than what it was originally approved?
It was originally approved as a garage.
Okay, that's a
So
garage.
it was a garage and a parking area, and then what was actually there is a 16 by 16 shed by 13 tall, and then a 20, I believe it measured 24 by 25 foot parking area, which the issue with that is that it encroaches, or it appears to encroach into the 3-foot setback from the side lot line.
So there is no garage then on the lot?
Correct.
Okay. So the size of the shed and the original, and the size of the pad, is it in aggregate larger or smaller than the 26 by 40 that was agreed upon or approved?
Would be roughly about the same area as far as coverage between the two.
Okay. So the remedy then would be, what? Would be tear the shed down or bust up the concrete and redo it all? Is that what we're asking?
Well, we're just asking for variance.
Okay.
That's your call, just whether or not he's okay where he's at, a variance to the code, or if to enforce the code as written, which would be to bring the shed down to size and the concrete back to the 3-foot mark.
So the permit was granted originally with the original request, and then
Correct.
structures were built without updating the permit.
Right, without updating the permit, correct.
And to be clear, they can have up to, I believe it's 50% of the primary footprint for a detached garage, or not to exceed 700 unless the home was bigger. That's what a detached garage does, but when you just do a shed, something that's not fit for a car, your maximum square footage is 200. So what was applied for was the detached garage, and then they saw how big it was, their words, and they pivoted to do the shed, and the shed was too large to approve.
Thank you, Chad. Do you have any other questions, Eddie?
I'm good.
I don't have any other questions. Is there any other one from the staff to report? If not, we'll go ahead and move into the applicant's comments. You're the applicant?
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity to come before you. It's been a long haul since the end of the
Please
summer.
state your name and address.
Skip Wolford, Leon C. Wolford, 615 Broadway, Piqua.
Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen. Anyway, we've had difficulty getting a quorum together, so would be the fifth try at it, but I'm glad to be before you. We had all of the necessary permits taken care of for the original 40 by 26 garage, and it's true, we did change to downsize, and when Derek contacted me about what he had seen as variations on the theme, so to speak, he suggested I come in, and I did so within the next day or two to meet with the compliance office. And I forget her name, Christine? Whatever.
Kirsten.
Yeah, okay, so anyway, I explained what we were doing, and it was going to be a 16 by 16 structure, down from that. And she said, fine, I need you to make a print. And I said, hey, it's a square. And she said, okay, if there's any problems with that, I'll let you know. And that's where we left it. We have done everything with full compliance of the law by the numbers. So this was a total surprise. And that includes the issue of the encroachment against the barn there. And I have letters, which you may or may not have, from all my neighbors around us that have absolutely no issue whatsoever, including the one that has the pad next to his very, very old barn. It fits in quite nicely, and it's not an eyesore. And I would be happy to provide those for you should you wish. I believe you have pictures. Do you not?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, it's always our intention to do what you wished. No, there it is. So, there it is.
So where the pad is now, where it's close to the other building on the right-hand side, is that the same line where it would have been when it was approved? When you went through an appeal before, the Board of Zoning approved?
No, we did not do an appeal before. We just had the original plan approved.
But is that where that garage, that line where that, 20 by 40 garage would have been? Would it have been that close to that structure?
No, it would not have been. No, sir. I believe it would have been 3 feet.
3 feet?
Yeah.
And now it's foot and a half?
The pad, yes, is that way. So, yeah, when the contractor that was there was pouring the pad, there was no comments whatsoever. So, whether or not we were in.
So are we
within
having
code.
some drainage problems there now because the gutters, on the one gutter's down and it's too short to get to the concrete?
No, the
The gutter
gutter
up
is
there?
attached all the way back, about 30 feet back, to a roof drain that's there, that's all. That's been the same way even before we started construction.
So when you did the original permit, asking for the original permit, you obviously then, did you know about the 3-foot setback in general for all structures?
Yes,
Okay.
but I did not know that that would apply to a pad.
As you can see now, they got problems with possible drainage, right, coming out to
Well,
the alley where then it
Yeah, my neighbor.
can't go anywhere.
Yeah, he hasn't had time to fix that up yet, but it'll drain right out straight, so. And our shed is 3 feet off of the other property line.
Okay.
So like, I'm just curious here, did the pad get poured to a dimension or a place where it wasn't supposed to, and that's just the way it ended up, or
It was poured to a dimension.
was it was it poured to a specific location? Like, don't go further than this, or just
No, I was under the understanding that the 1 foot off that wall there, that was not going to be a problem. And we came that way, whatever the dimension was.
Eddie, do you have any questions?
So just so we're clear, you're here asking for 3 things, right, on a variance, correct?
3,
Um,
shed and
The size of the shed,
Yes.
because the code is 200 square feet and yours is 256, right?
Yeah, I knew nothing about that when I came in
Okay.
to take care of
So,
that.
but right now, you're asking for 3 variances, correct?
The shed and the
The shed
pad
size, yep.
and the pad.
You have the distance of the concrete pad from the property line, right?
Yes, sir.
Should only be 2.
It's 2.
Yeah, because it leads me to believe there's 3, but, okay, all
I
right.
believe the ordinance is written a little misleading.
All I can tell you, gentlemen, is if had we known, this wouldn't
Okay.
be here.
What's the current distance from the concrete pad to the property line, do you know?
Which property line are you speaking of?
To the right of that pad in the picture, like, do you know how far it is from the property line?
It's 1.5 foot, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have a letter from the Lewises.
Okay.
He has no problem.
So as far
with
as you know, that structure to the right is like right on, next to the property line, right?
Correct.
I mean, it looks like, I'm
it.
guessing.
Yes. You're in the old part of the world, downtown. So
Okay.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
no, sir.
All
Thank
right,
you, gentlemen.
We'll close the floor right now then, and then we'll deliberate.
Thank you.
We've completed our deliberation, and first of all, I think it looks very nice back there. I drove by today, and as I normally do before meetings, and It's a very clean back there, and it looks like good craftsmanship and stuff, so. Do you have any comments before we take a vote?
Well, just, no, let's go with the vote first, then I'll make a comment.
Make a motion.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve the variance request for the maximum shed size and the distance from the concrete pad and neighboring properties, and then,
So I have a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second motion to adopt the resolution BZA 12-23 as applied for. Emily, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Davy,
aye.
Mr. Harvey,
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye. So let the record show that your request for the appeal has been approved, and congratulations.
Yeah, I'll just make a comment, though, just common sense. We understood what the code said, in light that there are no issues that you know of from the neighbors, although there could be in the future, right? There's just no issues now. There could be in the future, and you'll have to deal with that, right? Or if there's a problem with whatever, the road structure or whatever it is, you have to deal with it down the road. As far as the concrete pad, I would recommend you put in maybe better drainage for that little section there, because we're assuming you would, if there's any drainage problems, or you would be preemptive just to put in a drain pipe, drop some gravel, and call it good, because it's going to get pretty ugly there, I would think. So my recommendation would be to do something for the drainage, make it better. Otherwise, there could be some problems with, the city engineer's office down the road, so.
That will happen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is Resolution BZA 1-24. Emily, would you please read the resolution?
A resolution to consider a variance allowing a temporary pool to remain up year-round at 409 Blaine Avenue.
Thank you. We'll move on to the staff report.
So, and before Derek gets started on this one, this situation arose out of a code violation notice that Derek was working on. One of the items that was covered in that was the pool, and when we went to the applicant, they had asked for basically forgiveness on that pool, and that's the part of the CVN that's in front of you tonight. The rest is an ongoing case.
So we're only addressing the pool only.
Only the pool
Okay.
of the CVN, the rest of it's ongoing.
Thank you.
I was called to the property at 409 Blaine Avenue, stemmed from a complaint. After observing the property, I had wrote the property up for all visible violations, and I did that on 9/28 of 23, September 28th of 2023, which included the pool, at which time the tenant on, excuse me one second here, 10/4 I had spoken with her and explained all the violations so that we were all under the understanding of the CVN, at which time on 10/30 the tenant had requested the variance to keep the pool, temporary pool, up year-round. I'll be happy to answer any further questions.
So, and the pool is currently covered?
I guess what
Is
do you
it-
mean by covered?
As I read somewhere in the minutes that it was required to be covered year-round or during the months not being used, or what
There-
is covered, or?
The code states during the months not being used, it needs to be completely removed and
Oh.
stored.
And just to provide any more clarification, a temporary pool by our zoning is a structured chamber or tank containing a body of water intended for swimming, diving, or bathing, designed with flexible siding, or is otherwise not able to withstand freezing temperatures. That's the temporary pool, and the requirement for that is to be removed from October 15th and April 15th. So it can be erected for a few months, basically in warmer temperatures. A permanent pool is one that's designed with rigid sides to withstand freezing temperatures without draining, which would be an in-ground pool with a cover, or perhaps a hot tub with a cover. That upon our findings on this, we determine it to be a temporary pool, and thus the issue to remove it. And that's what's
I
being
think what
applied
you-
for.
I think what you saw was the note from the resident that said it would be covered. That was a suggestion, so.
So roughly, how many pools are there in the city of Piqua?
It's a good question. I don't really have an accurate number for you there, not even a guess, honestly.
I think I just thinking to myself, driving to work in the morning, a mile, I think I just on one or two streets, I probably pass 5 or 6.
There's a good bit.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you there.
So, have we ever had violations on other pools like this that are not removed during the?
Yes.
Okay.
And if we need to supply a list of permitted pools, or, we can.
Have all those been resolved? Did the residents take it down, or did?
No, I'm only speaking, I started in September. Basically, when a pool comes and it's a permanent pool, they apply for a permit and
Oh.
they install the pool.
Okay.
If they get a temporary pool, we have a permit for that as well, which it's down during the winter months. And that could be anything from, a little plastic one you get from Tractor Supply, or a blow-up one from Walmart, or whatever. They're, to be down during that time.
Okay.
As far as the data regarding how many are permitted, how many are not, we respond to, if someone reports one, we investigate it and rule one way or the other, pursue action or have them remove it.
And just for my awareness, is a permit's not required for a temporary pool, is it?
Correct. It is.
It is required.
All
Yes.
pools.
All pools.
Okay, so even a
Required
kiddie
permit.
pool,
Correct.
that's like this big? Like seriously, this big?
I can't, I believe it's something, it's 20 inches in depth
Gets to
or
a certain
100
size,
square
okay.
feet.
Yeah, it's a
You're
certain
right.
size. and-
Okay.
If you have a pool for your dog, I
Got it.
think you're all right.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
Okay. If there's no other comments from the staff then, or any questions for the staff, we'll move on to the applicant's comments. Thank you, Derek.
Good evening. My name's Paul Simmons. I live at 215 McKinley Avenue. I was wondering if I would be permitted to speak for the applicant.
Sure.
Okay. So I am currently serving as the commissioner for Ward 2, and Ms. Scott called me up, I think it was just right after the election. I wasn't in office yet, but she asked me about this situation, and I called up Mayor Lee, and he and I came down and we talked with Chris Schmeezing and with the city manager. Ms. Scott suffers from a disease called spinal stenosis. She is under the ADA. She receives SSDI, so she is disabled. And her physician gave her a letter that says she needs to use this year-round. Does she keep it covered? My guess is during the fall and winter months and stuff, she does when she's not using it, but she uses it practically every day. Cold weather, warm weather, unless it's below 0, because she needs to have that for her therapeutic use for her treatment. And so when Mayor Lee and I spoke with Chris Schmeezing, he said that if we brought this back before you guys, that we could get the variance approved and that we could get the variance fee of $150 waived because she is on limited income with SSDI. So that's it in a nutshell. Do you have any questions for me or for Ms. Scott?
Is the pool heated?
Huh? She is still working on getting the heater for the pool. It's a little bit more expensive than her income allows for now.
Well, you said she uses the pool year-round, even when it's zero. It'd be kind of hard to use it.
Well, no, I mean, unless
Zero
it's
is why I
like,
was wondering.
unless it's freezing, I mean.
It'd be like
below-
ice skating
Below zero,
at
yeah.
zero, so, okay.
But, no, even when it's cold weather, so,
So there are plans then to heat it?
yeah. Do you have any questions for me or for
I
Ms.
was
Scott?
asking.
Oh, okay.
Has anyone been allowed on the property to like give recommendations on what to do? Just like, we have the code, but sometimes we try to apply some common sense, right? Has anyone been on the property, like, in consultation to make some recommendations to try to come as close to the intent of the code as possible? Meaning like, keep the water warm, et cetera, et cetera.
No.
Make sure
well,
that it's
they've been
structurally
allowed to-
sound.
Right, they've been allowed to come out, but nobody's made any recommendations, so, once she's able to get it heated, that will make it where it's truly year-round. I mean, she'll keep it covered, but that's only gonna be to keep the heat in.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
All right, thank you, guys.
Any other comments? Would the applicants like to add anything else before we deliberate?
Good evening. My name is Michelle Scott, 409 Blaine Avenue, Piqua. I just wanted to say that when I was first told to take the pool down from when was it? March, no, excuse me, I'm sorry, October to April, I had already explained that I was on disability and my pool is 18 feet wide, 4 deep high. So as far as they led me to believe that they thought that my pool was a small plastic pool, and it's not. And I just don't understand because I've driven around Piqua, and just like you said, a lot of people have pools, and they are still up since October till now. And now we're getting back into spring, and the pools are still up. So I just don't understand why I am being targeted to take my pool down for 6 months when everyone else still has their pool up. And that was like my main argument as far as me trying to take my pool down. I mean, I don't understand that. So I'm just asking you, it is therapeutic, it does help me, and I just feel it's really unnecessary or a waste of time to put this pool up and take it down every year. I just don't get that. If it was plastic or if it was a blow up, okay, in a way, but this one is already situated in the ground, and I just don't understand how they expect me to do that every year. Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other comments? All right, we'll close the floor for deliberation. And we've completed, pardon me? So we've completed deliberations and if there are no additional comments or anything, then I will entertain a motion on the resolution.
All right, I will make a, yep. Sorry, I had a question.
Pardon me? Sure. You have to come to the lectern and introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, I'm Davon Brown at 409 Blaine Avenue. My mother, she came a long way from her, her disability, to the point where I had to help her go to the bathroom and stuff. You know what I mean? Just walk to the bathroom. And by us using the pool, throughout times when the weather was warmer, because the weather goes here and there, that helped us out a lot. And that's mainly our reason why us getting the pool, also, during the summer. But, I just wanted to mention that because, it came a long way.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. So we'll close the discussion, and I'll entertain a motion on Resolution BZA 1-24.
Okay. All right, I will make a motion on resolution number BZA 1-24 and the variance requested to approve the resolution.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second to approve the resolution and the appeal for BZA 124. Emily, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Davy?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye. So, Resolution BZA 124, the variance has been approved. So, keep exercising, stay healthy, keep using it. And if there's no other comments or other business, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to adjourn, and we'll call the meeting adjourned.